Hey, true believers, Englentine here with a review of Doctor Strange #1 and a little bit of a discussion on what the has happened to Mark Waid. Seriously. And now I read the book. It's been a couple of days. I'm opening it just for referencing and everything because I usually do these as a rant. But it really has me wanting to go back to read Kingdom Come just to find out if it was actually as good as I remember. Because that's how bad Mark Waid has become. It truly does seem as if he's taken a fall. A serious fall. Creatively. I mean, let's get Twitter out of the way. Get his nut barness out of the way, which actually I think you can't. I don't think you can separate the two. I think his descent into madness is partial to blame for why he just cannot seem to write a book anymore. And you know what the worst part is? We get this opening scene in Doctor Strange where he's fighting a creature and he just takes care of business. I mean, it's Doctor Strange, Sorcerer Supreme. We're getting the Doctor Strange we know and love. Or we knew and loved. Because this Doctor Strange has not been in comics for, what, 3-4 years now? Seriously. I have not read a Doctor Strange comic book where Doctor Strange is allowed to be Doctor Strange Sorcerer Supreme since before the movies come out. If you do get to read that, then it ends up being a miniseries or something, like telling the origin. But nowadays, it seems like the big thing that a Doctor Strange comic book can do is to remove all of his magic. It's almost like the Silver Age Superman thing. You have to give all the criminals kryptonite, or you got to figure out how to depower him because his powers were so great. How can you figure out a way to beat him? I have a feeling that that's the direction they're going with Doctor Strange. Oh, well, he's got a problem, let him magic it up. And they see him as too powerful, so how to write Doctor Strange except for to depower him? They don't realize that he doesn't have to fight Earth entities. He can fight mystical entities which have similar powers to him. I can only imagine that my friend Dalton, who you hear on live streams with me all the time after this and the Vertigo announcements, is digging a grave right now just so he can spin in it. Now, if you're not clear, this opening sequence where we get to see Stephen Strange be Doctor Strange, Sorcerer Supreme, this is the best part of the book, and it will not. This is the best you're going to get, and it will not get this good again. As a matter of fact, it takes kind of a nosedive after the opening sequence where you see Doctor Strange fighting a mystic creature using magic and being badass Doctor Strange that we all know and love. I liked this scene, and when I read it, I thought, oh, that's cool, except for we know that's not what this story is about. We know that Mark Waid can never keep this level of writing and excitement for long. Not these days. Like I said, it questions whether you should go back and read the stuff that we all loved. Maybe it just isn't that good. Maybe something happened. I have no idea. Because most of this book isn't him rejoicing in the fact that he's Sorcerer Supreme as he does right here on this page. But most of this is one of the mopiest books you will ever read. Oh my God, it's like listening to a depressed 12-year-old write their diaries out loud. It's so amazingly bad. And the dialogue, it becomes this first-person dialogue boxes throughout most of it. Or in some ways, third-person, I think. But it just... oh my gosh, and it's bad because it tries to seem so deep, but it's like a Dixie cup. It's like if we're, oh, the magic was what once was, but not what it could be or is. But if magic is not what it once was, is it now magic true? But with what is magic true? But what could be once was what the magic is, but not who the magic holder will be. Depth equals deepness. I don't know. It's like you're fucking reading the memoirs of Jack Handy. It just does not go well. It really doesn't. And you know Mark Waid's sitting there going, click, click, ha, ha, ha. They'll love me again now. Oh, fuck Trump. And it's just, oh my goodness gracious. This book is so bad, gang. It really is. First of all, it's dull. Because right after that opening sequence, they should just play this panel where he's got his hands on the window over and over again, because it is just that boring. Oh my goodness. And it shouldn't be, because you're watching his descent. It's a slow descent. So I know I've said, well, they're writing for the trade, yada yada, but this really should have been more pages, more panels of different things. Like, this is one panel stretched into 4 panels. It's the same damn picture. Okay, what are they trying? He's descending. This should have been pages worth so we understand his loss. This is the one time I say they should have written for the trade like they normally do, where the entire book is about him losing the magic, because then we would really feel it. So we're seeing as he gradually goes how it's losing. But ultimately, what I think is they never should have let him lose the magic. They just did that storyline. This is nothing new. Like I said, we haven't seen Doctor Strange Sorcerer Supreme in a long damn time, because they've already had him lose the magic and go through the mystical items thing. It's nothing new. You're rehashing old ground, and you're not even like retelling a 1980s story. You're not doing Civil War II, which Civil War I was 10 years ago. You're doing something that happened just a few months ago. This is just rehashing everything. We've seen it. We've done it. It's boring. And then it gets to the worst thing. He goes to Tony Stark for help. He goes looking for technology to help the mystical. And, oh my goodness gracious, it just doesn't work. So Tony Stark, after he goes to him, he says, well, what it is you're on Earth, and Earth is dried up. To hurt. Ouch! No. Oh my, well, no, this is actually something that they've played around with before. English magic is different than Asian magic, yada yada, so maybe it's run out. But he deals in dimensions, dudes. So Tony Stark says, you need to go to another planet. You need to go to another planet to find magic. You need to go into space. Maybe some interplanetary sorcerer could re-spark your magic. Okay, first of all, let's talk about this whole going into space thing. I know it happens all the time. I know Doctor Strange has been in space before. I know this is a comic book thing. It's another world to explore, or worlds to explore. This is nothing new. However, the whole going into space thing, it's been done and it's played out. It's when series seem to run out of ideas. It just is. Oh, and by the way, the race car spaceship, where does he live? Where does he eat? Is there a kitchen? I don't know. It looks like he's just driving it along. Anywho, it seems like an idea of last resort. Hellblazer, or Hellraiser, excuse me, went into space when it was running out of ideas. Leprechaun never really had any good ideas to begin with, but still, it went into space when its franchise got tired. Black Panther is on a slave ship in space as we speak. I didn't know it was a slave ship. Corrupt told me that. He clued me in. But that does not change one very simple fact about going to space, gang. It's never going to be as good as when the pigs went to space. Sorry, my opinion. That's the way I think. As a matter of fact, let's just stop trying with the whole sci-fi thing anyway. Pigs in space, the pinnacle. There you go. But the greater point here is that this is already treaded ground. We've seen it before, and we're seeing it like right now in Marvel Comics in another comic book. It's not very good either. Sorry, Ta-Nehisi Coates is not a good Black Panther writer. He hasn't been, and I don't see him becoming a good Captain America writer, but hey, fingers crossed, right? But the thing is, it's done, Mark. You're hashing old ground. You're not doing anything innovative. At this point, you should be comic book legend. And you're on your road to that. Now, sorry, taking it away. You are ex-comic book legend. or former comic book legend Mark Waid. Let's just say Mark Waid, writer of Kingdom Come. And I'm going to do a review because now I'm seriously interested. Is it as good as I remember? I haven't read it in a few years, so it's time. It's due. But that's how bad Mark Waid has gotten. Mark Waid has gotten so bad that I am now questioning if he was ever good. That being said, Jesus says the art is very good in this book. I like the colors. I like the art. This is a good-looking book that is in search of a decent story. But that's just my opinion. What is yours? What did you think of Doctor Strange #1 written by Mark Waid? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Do you think I'm way off? Is this a great book and I'm just not seeing something? If so, please tell me what I am not seeing. I want to know. Put it down in the comments below. Also, if you like this video, you want to see more, click like, share, of course, get word out about the channel, and don't forget to hit subscribe and that notification bell so you don't miss anything. Cool things happen around these parts. Now, this is the way I'm trying to make a living and really want to make better videos with better editing, trying to get better software and equipment. So please, by all means, if you don't mind, go on over to Patreon, drop $1 in the till. For less than the price of a candy bar for the month, you could help out this channel. We certainly appreciate that. We appreciate everybody who's already done that. And to everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching.